Hey everybody, my name's Isaac, nice to meet you. Today, I'm going to be making a line of cut print of La Virgen de Guadalupe. Now, if you clicked on this video, you probably knew who La Virgen de Guadalupe is because you saw the title and enticed you into this video. But if you do not know who La Virgen de Guadalupe is, no worries, I'm gonna explain that to you right now. Actually, I think better than me explaining to you who she is, I'm gonna show you. Give me a second. Here she is. This is La Virgen de Guadalupe. La Virgen de Guadalupe is maybe the most important saint in all of Mexico. She's extremely symbolic to the Mexican people. If you go to Mexico, you will see La Virgen de Guadalupe. I learned about La Virgen de Guadalupe about 8 years ago when I started watching this telenovela, which is called La Rosa de Guadalupe. What happens in every episode is that there's a family crisis, an ethical dilemma, and one person in the family goes to pray La Virgen de Guadalupe, then a white rose appears and the problem gets solved and everyone's happy in the end and lives happily ever after. Now that I have the photo of La Virgencita printing, it's time for me to prepare the block to carve. I'm going to be using a 9 by 12 inch soft rubber linoleum block, and before I can transfer the image on, I have to paint it with red tempera paint. Now that we've gotten to this point, I have to bring something up. I'm neither Mexican nor Catholic, and so you may be wondering, why am I making a print of La Virgen de Guadalupe? It all started 4 years ago when I was on vacation in New Mexico. We spent the day traveling, we arrived at our Airbnb, and one of the first things I noticed was the little statuette of La Virgen de Guadalupe. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like the telenovela. And then my dad suddenly called me. He's like, Isaac, you have to come see this. I went to the bathroom. I was like, what is it? And he pointed to the wall, and there was a giant cockroach. And one thing about me is I hate bugs. And even though I'm not religious, I thought, I need to pray La Virgen de Guadalupe. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and it's now or never. So I went to the statue of La Virgen de Guadalupe, and I got on my knees and I prayed, just like they do in La Rosa de Guadalupe. Now, before I finish up my story with La Virgen de Guadalupe, I think it's important that I explain how she became such a big figure in Mexico. Long before the first episode of La Rosa de Guadalupe aired in 1531 in what's now an outskirt of Mexico City, there was an indigenous peasant named Juan Diego. And he was outside on the hill of Tepeyac when he saw La Virgen de Guadalupe appear. And she told him that he needed to tell the bishop to build a church on the top of the hill of Tepeyac. So Juan Diego went to the bishop, and the bishop didn't believe him. So he went back to the hill, he saw La Virgen de Guadalupe again, and she told him that to prove to the bishop that this miracle actually happened, that he should go to the top of the hill and collect roses to give to the bishop. So he went to the top of the hill, and miraculously he saw roses, because in that season there were no roses in Mexico City. So he collected the roses in his cloak, and he took them down to the bishop, and as he's unraveling his cloak to show the roses to the bishop, they could see that there was the photo of La Virgen de Guadalupe magically printed on his cloak. And this is the photo that I'm basing my artwork off of. Now that La Virgencita is all transferred onto the lino cut block, it is time for me to carve La Virgencita. Now, back to my story. After I prayed La Virgen de Guadalupe, I didn't see any more roaches, and about 3 days passed. Me and my parents, we'd been out doing some sightseeing, and then we were hungry, so we went to go get lunch. We parked in this parking lot just for this restaurant, and I got out, and we went into the restaurant. We had lunch. It was very delicious. The food of New Mexico was very delicious. Highly recommended. Then after we ate, we're leaving. And I'm walking back to the door that I got in and out of the seat in the car that I had been sitting in. And before I opened the door, I looked down, and right in front of my door, is a white rose. And at first I was like, what? The white rose? Is this the telenovela or what? And so I looked around, I was like, oh, maybe some flower truck went by here, But no, I didn't see any other white roses. It was a brand new white rose right outside of my door, the door that I had used to get in and out of the car. I showed my parents and they can attest this really did happen. The white rose was there. And ever since then, I'm still not Catholic. I'm not overly religious, but I do believe in La Virgen de Guadalupe. Beyond the white roses, I'm adding in these two little cockroaches because I thought it would be a nice little addition to show what I've gone through. Everybody, I just finished La Virgencita, now it's time to print her, so let's get into it. It's done, and I'm really happy with how this print came out. After I finished printing the blue ones for the video, I decided to print some red ones. I can't tell which I prefer. The people of Instagram preferred the blue one, but I really like the red one. So let me know in the comments which one you prefer. And I have big news. These prints will be available for sale on my Etsy site. Check out the link in the description for all the details. Thank you so much for staying to this part of the video. It means a lot to me that you stayed to hear my story with La Virgencita de Guadalupe. If you want to see more of my artwork and a bit more of my day-to-day artistic process, you can follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok. The links will be in the description. And I'll see you soon. The next video will not take as long to come out. I promise you that. Bye-bye.